All right, good morning, everyone. We are at the very last video in this series. We have, well, at least I have. I've read through this entire year-long devotional entitled Wisdom from the Bible, Daily Thoughts from the Proverbs. And for those of you who have followed along with me and watched the videos, I hope you've really enjoyed this. I know I have. It's really strengthened my faith and my walk with the Lord. So we are going to start with December 25th, and we will be ending with December 31st, and then we are done with this devotional. Okay. She is like the merchant ships. She bringeth her food from afar. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens. Chapter 31, verses 14 and 15. The town lay in silence. It was late, and the people had closed up their homes and settled in. In the shed the animals were making low, soft sounds. In their midst were very special people. A young mother cradled her son, and the father looked on with great love and pride. Another father looked on with pride, and his bright light shone upon them. Mary had watched all the things which had happened this evening, and she kept all the things in her heart and pondered them. Her life would never be the same. Her life would be dedicated to being the best mother she could be for the Son of God. Pleasing God became her sole purpose for being. Her life was transformed, and her glory would shine throughout the centuries. Throughout time, people would look at Mary and know that she was more blessed than any other woman. For she not only carried the Spirit, but had carried the body of God within her. A virtuous woman is a joy to the Lord. Mary provided to be not only virtuous, but holy. Her holiness came from nothing she did, but it was bestowed upon her by God. Once blessed, she could do nothing less than bless the lives of all she met. You have made my life so much different than it was before. I cannot thank you enough for all you have given me. I ask that the love you sent so long ago be reborn in me this day and every day to come, that I might proclaim Christ is with us. Hallelujah. December 26th. She girdeth her loins with strength, and strengtheneth her arms. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candle goeth not out by night. Chapter 31, verses 17 and 18. She was an organizer. Everything had to be done in a particular order at a particular time. She knew she was a perfectionist, but it had always paid off. She usually got what she set her sights on, and everyone knew that she was dependable and trustworthy. If there was a job that they needed done by a specific time, they came to her. She was proud of her accomplishments, and it gave her a deep satisfaction to know that other people looked at her work to improve their own. She was an example, and she vowed that as long as she lived, she would be a good one. In this day and age, too few people are concerned with quality and integrity. Many try to get by with exerting the least amount of effort possible, and they refuse to give more than they are asked for. It is the wise person who knows to give all they can. God is hoping that we will be bright and shining examples of truth and goodness. When we give less than 100%, we provide a shoddy example, and we are an embarrassment to God. When we live our lives to the fullest, then we do God honor, and His glory is spread throughout our lives. God will bless us richly if we will only strive to be the creations He intended us to be. Lord, I sometimes let down and don't do all I should to make you proud of me. Help me to see ways that I can improve myself, and in so doing, bring honor and glory to you each day. December 27th. She stretcheth out her hand to the poor, yea, she reacheth forth her hands to the needy. Chapter 31, verse 20. The back door was always opening to some stranger. Years ago she had developed the reputation of loving kindness and concern. Whenever a poor person happened through town, they knew that they could receive a warm meal and a kind word at her house. The poor came from all over to visit her, but they never took advantage of her kindness. They were so impressed by her concern for them that they respected and revered her. While they ate, she would talk to them about her faith, and she was deliberate in letting everyone know that if it weren't for her trust in God, they would not be receiving this meal. God made her love everyone, and she found the power to give of herself through his love. She witnessed to hundreds of people in her life, and her kindness stayed with them wherever they went. Love is such a funny thing. We tend to think in terms of it being something which sweeps us off our feet. But love doesn't have to be big to be powerful. Small acts of kindness can change lives. We can reach out to so many people, not with a lot, but with everything that is important. That is God's precious love. There is nothing finer. Guide me to do what needs to be done, O Lord. Wherever I can bring love, let me do so. Help me to see the needs around me, and then give me the resources and the desire to do everything I can. December 28th. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. Chapter 31, verse 21. She looked back over her life and she was satisfied. Never once had they been rich. Never once did they have more than they knew what to do with. That didn't mean they'd ever been poor. Her children had always had clothes to wear and shoes for their feet, and food enough to satisfy their bellies. They had all had to pitch in to make things go, but families ought to do that. Her children loved each other. Other families got tied up with gadgets and things, but hers has spent their time in love and sharing. The family would spend long hours talking and sitting around the fire. Those were the good times. Those memories were more precious than gold. We can provide our family and friends with many things, but we have nothing greater to give than our love. If we will deal with people in love and kindness, we give them something worth more than the finest possessions. Money can't compare with a love that carries through our lives. God gives us such love. We may think that we are poor, that we don't have all the things we want, but if we have his love, then we are richer than kings and queens. Nothing compares with the love of God, and the person who knows such love will never know want. Father, I adore you. You have been so good to me and have shared so much. Help me to share what you have given to me with others. Let me share the treasure which is in my heart. December 29th. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. Chapter 31, verse 26. She didn't believe in spanking the children. If they couldn't be made to understand the difference between right and wrong by reasoning with them, then other ways could be found without striking them. Nothing good would come of even the most well-intended violence. Her children knew that they had nothing to fear from their mother. She would never hurt them for any reason. Her only desire was to give them the best life possible. They knew that they could talk to her, and she would listen as a friend, not judging or condemning. She had learned long ago that kindness was the key to respect and obedience. It was not through fear that people came to know the love of God. It was through his tender mercy and loving grace. God gives so much to us as children. He tries to lead us through a life which is good and joyous. His instructions is often hard, but if we will learn to follow it, we will find great blessing. He does not try to strike us down or condemn us. He only tries to help us see our errors and make things right. God loves us and gives us a promise of a life everlasting which is rooted and grounded in love and grace. Give to me a gentle spirit that I might deal in love with those I try to help. Fill me with consideration and comfort so that I can give it to people who are in desperate need. You have given so much to me, I only want to do the same for others. December 30th. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Her children arise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praiseth her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Chapter 31, verses 27 through 29. Emma sat encircled by friends and family, and she was at peace. Looking around at her family, she felt that God was pleased with her. Her sons and daughters, grandsons and granddaughters, great-grandsons and great-granddaughters were all fine people who knew what it meant to love and knew what it meant to have faith. Her family had been brought up in the fear of the Lord, and it was worth it. In a world which is full of hurt and fear, her family was full of hope and love. There was a crowd of people here to celebrate with her, but most importantly, she knew God was here too. She looked forward to meeting him face to face. When we have lived well, we can stand before God unashamed. He will look upon us, and the radiance of his face will warm and comfort us. He will tell us that we have run the race well, and that we have been good and faithful servants. And all the hurts, frustrations, and disappointments of this life will fade away to nothingness. In our meeting with our Maker, we will understand fully just how wonderful the gift of life really is. I look at the beauty and wonder in this world, and something deep inside me tells me that I haven't seen anything yet. I look at the evil and pain in the world, and something cries out inside that I don't belong here. Be with me all of my days, Lord, and bring me at last to your eternal glory, I pray. And then the last one for this video, December 31st. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruits of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. Chapter 31, verses 30 and 31. The sun was setting, and evening quiet settled in. A fire burned in the hearth, and its light was the only source in the room. Life seems so difficult sometimes. You did your best, gave it your all, and it seemed like you got nothing for your troubles. Nothing good ever seems to last, but still she had hope. Tomorrow would be a new day, and she looked forward to seeing what it would bring. True, not everything had gone right in her life, but she had lots to be thankful for. She worked hard, but that made her feel good. She felt like she had accomplished something. She wasn't beautiful or popular, but she was at peace with herself, and that was what was important. She was loved by her husband and children, and she knew that they would always be with her. She could complain a lot, but down inside she knew that she was a really lucky woman. Her feelings of futility gave way to a feeling that everything was going to be okay, and so it was. As long as God was in heaven and his sight was on his children, everything would be just fine. In his will and his infinite love, all things were possible. Life was good. She leaned back into the chair and smiled. The new year was going to be great. My Lord, shine your light in my life and give me the strength I need to face whatever comes my way. I look forward to tomorrow and all the blessings it will bring. Thank you. Thank you for life, for love, and for being my God. All right. Well, thank you to those of you who have watched all of these videos along with me. I hope over these last several months, as I've read through this yearly devotional, that many of these have blessed your life in some way and has caused you to become closer to the Lord. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end it there because now I got to start doing my grocery shopping for this morning. All right, you guys take care. God bless.